Welcome back to the Cave of Wonders, Dreamwalkers. I am your Sith Lord Callous for Lord Callous TV. And this is another Callous recap and review. Today I want to talk to you guys about the Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 10, The Passenger. So let's get right into it. This episode picks up where episode 9 leaves off. Djarin has killed the crate dragon, and he and the child are heading back to town. He gets ambushed on the way by a small group of pirates, but deals with them in true Mandalorian fashion. Unfortunately, his speeder is trashed, so he has to walk back to Mos Eisley with Boba Fett's armor and a slab of crate dragon meat draped across his shoulders. Once he arrives in town, he meets back up with Pelimato, who's playing sabacc or some other high-stakes card game with an alien that she calls Dr. Mandible. Now, I happen to think that this insectoid alien is a Killik, but I don't know or I don't believe that there has been any confirmation either way. Regardless, he is significant to this scene because he claims to know of someone who knows where the Mando can find more Mandalorians. He tips off Peli, who introduces Djarin to the passenger, the one who claims to actually know where the Mandalorians can be found. She will tell him under one condition. He is to transport her and her cargo to a nearby planet in the same sector, traveling only by sublight speed. Now, this passenger is only referred to as the Frog Lady because, well, she's female and she's a frog. The mission that Mando must undertake in order to get the information that he seeks is to get her and her eggs safely to her husband, planetside, so he can fertilize them and ensure the continuation of her lineage. Mando accepts the mission, of course, but it's not an easy task. For one, he doesn't speak her language, and the second obstacle we learn rather quickly after they set out is that the child seems to have a taste for the Frog Lady's eggs. This is a plot point that has been met with mixed opinions, but I think there is more to be seen here than simply the child chomping on some frog eggs. The first interaction that he seems to have with the temperature-controlled vat that the eggs are being transported in was one that appeared to have a degree of force connection to it. So I believe there is more here to be revealed than some slapstick gimmick. Now, as they travel at sublight speed, they are intercepted by a pair of New Republic X-Wings patrolling the sector. They ask for his transponder codes, and that's when the chase begins. The Mando breaks toward the nearest planet, which happens to be an ice planet, and after some quick maneuvers, he manages to lose the pilots, but downs the Razor Crest in the process. So now he needs to repair the ship, but the Frog Lady is displeased with how nonchalant he is being about everything. She taps into the vocabulary remains of Q90, the droid from Chapter 6, and is able to speak to Djarin in Basic. She manipulates his sense of honor as a Mandalorian and essentially gets him to make the necessary repairs on the ship to get them off planet. But not before she decides to wander off alone in the underground cave that they are trapped in, where she finds and bathes herself and her eggs in a hot spring. The only problem is that hot spring is smack dab in the middle of a Krykna spider nest. As the Mando tries to help the Frog Lady gather her eggs and get back to the Razor Crest, the child decides to snack on one of the spider eggs, which causes the entire nest to swarm. The Krykna, ranging in size from hatchlings to enormous mama spider, chase the group back to the ship where they make their stand. They fend off wave after wave until they are forced to lock themselves in the cockpit. Before they can make a break for it, though, the mother Krykna again downs the Razor Crest, preventing their escape. It appears as if all hope is lost. Then the X-Wing pilots return to save the day. They kill the spiders, and instead of arresting Djarin, they give him a pass and essentially tell him to change his transponder codes so that he could be more anonymous. They identified him and the Razor Crest as the ones that helped bring in a few bad guys from Season 1. It's enough to buy him his freedom now, but not so much that they would offer to help him fix his ship. The pilots head out. Mando is able to depressurize the Razor Crest cockpit to allow them to at least hobble to their next destination, and that's where this episode ends. This was probably my least favorite episode of both seasons so far. While there were some positive points to come from this episode, it simply wasn't enough for me to categorize it as anything more than a filler, which isn't terrible in its own right, but I think it's just a little too early in the season to be throwing filler episodes at us. As I said, there were some things I enjoyed. I liked the connection between the Krykna spiders here and from our first on-screen viewing in the Rebels. This was significant to me because it spoke to the fact that we may be seeing Sabine Wren shortly, as she was the first one we see facing the Kryknas alongside Rex in the Rebels episode. I also am not convinced that the child simply has a taste for the Frog Lady's eggs. The forced connection that was implied leads me to believe that there is more going on here beneath the surface. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are we going to see Sabine Wren in episode 11? Were you disturbed by the child eating these eggs? Are you looking forward to more of season 2? If you're new here to the channel, be sure to subscribe for more Star Wars content and hit that like button because it really helps me out. If you'd like to support the channel, please consider joining the Dreamwalkers clan. I really appreciate that support. Shout out to my channel members Rhodes Rants, John Matrix, Biggles Metz, and Callisto Arcus. I thank you for joining the Sith Army. Hey, listen, I do what I love. I hope you love what I do. This has been a Callous recap and review. Until next time.